Okay, that was a little teaser video. Hi, welcome back. I'm gonna finish telling my story about my sixth um child being born. And I had to go settle the kids down a little bit because I was really just trying to just put a nice video out here for you guys and to catch you up a little bit on what's been happening in my life and with my uterus. No, it's so funny. Okay, so, back to the birth and labor of child number 6, Gabrielle. All right, so I was telling you guys that I woke up in labor. Hold on, let me fix the thing. I woke up in labor. I just had a feeling that today was going to be the day. And I kept myself busy during the pain. My contractions were painful, but I was able to breathe through them. And I'm not the type to just run to the hospital whenever, whenever the labor sets in. Because I don't want to be sitting up there all day and in pain. But the thing is, I didn't have to be in pain because at the hospital, if you do run to the hospital, you can get the epidural if you have enough time. But one of the reasons why, I'm gonna tell you this, one of the reasons why I got turned off in the first place of going to the hospital, what just helped me make up my mind, was that documentary. What is it? Being Born. It was something by Ricky Lake she put out, and it just explained the cycle of how once a woman goes into the hospital in labor, or at the onset of labor, how they intervene with medicines and and just with a lot of interruptions, and the medicine that they give you, it really brings on the contractions more heavy and more painful, more stronger, and so I didn't want to go through that, and I just didn't want mine interfere with, because it's a whole little cycle. Let me say, for those who don't know, I want to tell you real quick, and those who do know, you can relate to what I'm saying. Once you go in there to have the baby, and sound like the post I shared on Instagram. Okay. Anyway, once you go in there to have the baby, and they want to speed up the process, they give you Pitocin, and that makes the contractions very intense, and that squeezing of your uterus so frequently, it distresses the baby. And so they have the fetal monitor on, right, and they want to monitor how the baby's doing. And whenever you're having those faster contractions and squeezing the baby more often, the baby can get into distress. And so they'll tell you, oh, the baby's in danger, the baby's distressed, so we need to do an emergency C-section to stop this. Like, you don't want your baby to die, right? So let's go ahead and cut the baby out. They don't say it like that, but that's what they mean. And you're like, of course, once they play that card of the baby can die, you don't want the baby to die, so you agree to have the C-section. No matter how long you've been in labor, you want, or how bad you want to have a natural birth. Once they hit you with that, it's really hard to say no. So I didn't want that to happen. I just want to do most of my work at home to avoid all that. And the price you pay with that is a little more pain, because you don't have the help of an epidural to ease those contractions. And like I said before, I don't believe that all labor is going to be painful and all childbirth painful, because I've heard that it can be orgasmic, and I'm looking forward to that. Possibly looking forward to that one day. Experiencing that. Another reason to have babies. That's the hope of that orgasmic experience. Anyway. So, I did my work at home, and my husband was here, and when I felt it was time and I couldn't do any more labor at home, I hopped in the car. Told him it was time. We hopped in the car. Well, I hopped as fast as I could. I had to grandma walk to the car and take my time, because those contractions were on me, girl. So we get to the hospital in like 15 minutes or so, and I got in a wheelchair, and they wheeled me up to my room carefully. And once I get there, they give me the robe to change into. Oh my God, girl! I immediately disrobe, and I get in my gown, and I get in the bed like on all fours, like with my tush in the air, and you know the gown is open in the back, right? So you're exposed. But I'm in pain. I'm sitting there like a dog on all fours position, just breathing and rocking. And what's funny is my nurse came in there, and that was her first introduction of me, just seeing my hiney waving in the air. She's like, okay, well, nice to meet you. Anyway, I was embarrassed, but at the same time, I'm like, girl, I know you see this every day. I know you understand what's going on up in here. But they didn't understand what I was doing, because they like, you gotta flip over. You gotta flip over. I'm like, no. So the doctors and the nurses are coaxing me out of my childbirth preferred position. And that's one thing I don't like about going to the hospital to have your baby, is that you can't really freestyle it. Well, I didn't feel like I could. Some women do. Some women do go in there and say, I want to have my child like this and in this position. And, I've even heard of ladies like standing alongside the bed, holding the bed rails, and, and standing up and having their baby. I've heard of that. I know when you go to the midwifery place, to have your babies with the midwives at a childbirthing center, I know that they allow you more freedom. You have more freedom to walk around, to get in the tub, to, be in a more home-like sitting environment to have your baby. So, you have more freedom with those choices, but you have the ultimate freedom at home, because you don't have to confer, if that's the right word. You don't have to, get anyone to agree with you about what you want to do. You just do it. You do what you feel like you need to do. So that was my biggest thing. And also, she was a stranger. And my doctor who ended up coming in there was a stranger. But he was a handsome stranger. And she was a kind to me. So that was really nice. And the doctor was real professional and easy on the eyes. And so, not that I was like, but I'm just saying, didn't hurt. And how about my husband at the time was on a scooter because he had an ankle injury. And so he's not at his full 100, right? So he has like the scooter where you put your one knee down and you have your leg walking and balancing on the other leg. And they asked him to hold my leg. They asked him. He didn't have his full strength. See, my legs are my strongest like muscle. like, and then I'm in childbirth, and for some reason they were waving uncontrollably, just like doing all this movement, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand it, and I was just trying to, have my baby. But so the doctor wanted my husband to control one of my legs, and he was having a time. He wasn't at his full strength, so he was really just holding one leg. I think the nurse was holding the other leg because they were trying to get me to bear down and push. And I didn't want to. I think I was fighting it because I was like, I just want to turn around. Let me do it. And they were like, no, honestly, they told me I couldn't do it. And so I just had to face it. I just had to suck it up and be like, gotta face this. The ring of fire was really the issue that I was concerned about, because I'm like, I could feel all of that pain. Was no numbness going on, and so I was like, I don't want to do it, but I know I had to suck it up and do it to get it over with. So I bared down and pushed like 3 times, 3 good pushes, and they gave me the mirror. They put a mirror in front of me while I was lying down, and I could see her hair. I could see the crown, and I felt it. She was going in and out a little bit. So they gave me a little encouragement seeing her coming so close to being born. So I went on and pushed her out, girl. Oh, that was hard. That was painful. But the sense of relief once she was out was amazing. And then they put her on my chest, and she was so beautiful. I was so thrilled. That's one of the best moments, the best feelings. Once you do it, once you push the baby out, it's so wonderful. And so the doctors were really impressed with me. The doctors and the nurses, for some reason, they were like, oh, you were so calm. Like, we don't really see too many patients, like, in control like you were. Like, they were giving me so many random compliments about the way I was behaving during my labor. Now, they didn't appreciate me not cooperating like that, but at the same time, they did admire my strength during it. And I think it's just because Ina May Gaskin and her book on childbirth, she just really helped me to learn to breathe through it and to learn how to work with my contractions. So I highly recommend Ina May Gaskin for any woman getting ready to face childbirth, or if you just want to study more about midwifery. She even talks about nursing, and it's a lot of good stories in there and pictures. It's a good book. The book is called Spiritual Midwifery. If you want to check that out, ladies who are looking forward to giving birth, or someone who's about to face that and they're trying to go a more natural route, like as far as like maybe a home birth or midwife, where they know they probably won't get no medicine. You know what sucks? When you plan on getting medicine and you can't get it, then you really freak out, because that happened to one of my friends. She had her she was set on going there and getting an epidural, but it didn't happen. So I think even if you are planning on having a cesarean, reading books like that, that what, maybe like what to expect when expecting, and just reading over the labor part or what's going to happen, it'll help, because you won't be so surprised. You won't be so surprised with what's going on, like, because it could be really freaky once you realize the intensity of that pain. So you need something to draw back on. So they have classes, Lamaze classes, the Bradley Method. That was a good one, a good book, the Bradley Method. Okay, so those are my little recommendations, my little childbirth recommendations. And no, I'm not pregnant right now, but I just feel like it was a good time to catch you up on my childbirth story. And so, get out. And so also, that was my little vacation. That was my little mini vacation, going and having my baby at the hospital. Now, it kind of feels like kind of weird, because I've had 2 births at home, and then I went to a hospital afterwards. So it's like, what's up? Why did you change like your mind? Well, one reason why I changed my mind, so glad you asked, yeah, right, is because my husband was kind of against me having a home birth. Like, he would feel more comfortable if we were at the hospital, because he did participate in my last one, and he just felt more comfortable at the hospital. And to avoid any confrontations or anything, I just like, well, why not? Let's go to the hospital. Let's try it out. And I'm glad I did, because like I did enjoy my time there. Like, room service was good. Having my peace of mind, like just quiet was good. And then just the one-on-one time with the baby. The kids got to visit mommy and go back home with daddy. And so, I enjoyed my stay. But one of the hard things about going to the hospital and then coming back home is the shock of like reality slamming you in the face. Like, you don't have the hand and foot treatment, like people waiting on you hand and foot, and I'm talking about the nurses, and you don't have help with the baby on call, like for the shower, even though I have older children and they actually could be on call and help me more, but you have professionals to help you when you're at the hospital. So when you get back home, it's like all on your shoulders. So just prepare for that as well, like taking it all in. When you're at home already and you have the baby, it's kind of not as much as a shock at all, because you're already in your environment. You already here. You don't have to be there and come home and realize the difference in your levels of assistance, or the meds won't wear off because you're not really on those strong meds or anything like that. So that probably is another reason, the little medication that they give you, and then you have you don't have it when you get home. So that's another probably letdown. What else can I share with you, ladies? Gabrielle's her name. She was born January 6, 2016. And thank you, Gabrielle. Gabrielle's bringing me my cup right now. Bye, Gabrielle.
Bye.
Somebody's at the door. Okay, so anyway. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see somebody knocking on the door. All right. So basically, I had another one too, and I'll tell you about the second hospital birth after my 2 home births in another video. So I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you for sticking with me, hanging in there. You know, life's been busy with a house of 7 kids and a husband, and but I really want to stick with my YouTube channel, and I want to see a lot of growth and upgrading going on in 2019. So please share this video with anyone who you feel can benefit from hearing another woman's story about, you know, home birth, and my little tips and my other videos of just what to expect, you know, and that you can do it. If you want a home birth, you can do it. You know, it's possible. And, you know, it's no judgment. Like, if you want to have it at the hospital, go ahead. I had it at the hospital, too. I just wanted women to be more aware of their options.
Mama, get the eggs.
Okay. Thank you. Here you go. All right. So, please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.